Hi, this is Mark with Mark's Dodgers Cards. I just want to thank everybody for all the response to my first video on my 1956 Topps Dodgers set. Wow. All the subscriptions and likes and comments really is a great welcome to YouTube. I really appreciate it. I thought I'd take a minute in this video to tell a little bit about my card journey and how I ended up collecting Dodgers cards and vintage baseball cards. So this is going to be maybe a little bit longer, but I'm going to show a lot of cards. All the cards that I show are going to be cards that I got when I was in elementary, junior high, and high school. My card collecting journey started, I grew up in LA. My card collecting journey started when I was 7, and my dad took me to a baseball card shop in 1983, and I was just in awe of all the different cards. And I had an option of buying current packs or older packs, and the older packs were 1981 Donruss. And I chose to buy those. And then my dad said he'd get me one card from the showcase that would be like $5 or something like that, which to me was sounded like a huge amount of money. And I wanted to get a Sandy Koufax. I really wanted a Sandy Koufax because I'm Jewish and I'm a Dodger fan, and you know Sandy's the all-time Dodger great pitcher. And obviously Sandy Koufax cards were very expensive, but we were able to find this one card, the Sandy Koufax card, the first real vintage card that I got, and it's still my favorite card, this 65 leaders card with Koufax and Don Drysdale. And from then on, I was into vintage cards. Of course, I was also buying lots of other cards, and I bought, breaking open packs and all through the 80s. I started selling cards to buy more vintage cards. And some friends of mine, we set up, and my brother, we set up a little baseball card business. Here's one of the receipts from it, customer receipts. But we sold cards at little local shows when we were kids. And I sold some cards also to people at school. And I used some of the profits that I was able to get to buy more vintage cards. I focused on, first I wanted to get Sandy Koufax cards, but his cards were more expensive. So I decided I'll go for the other guy on that card, which is Don Drysdale. So I ended up getting a Don Drysdale player run and focusing on Don Drysdale. And then I got into a bunch of other things. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change the camera angle and show you some pictures of cards that I've gotten and explain how my card journey has evolved. All right, here's the first card I showed already, which is the leaders card. This is my first card that I ever got that's a vintage card. I still love it. It's my favorite card. It's in terrible condition. It's got staining up here. The corners are soft. Whatever. It's my favorite card. My dad gave it to me, and I love it. I mentioned I collected Don Drysdale. This is one example of that. This is a nice rookie card. This was given to me by my dad for my birthday, and it helped me complete my Don Drysdale run because the rookie card was the most expensive. I thought this card was, I put in a lot of these cards for grading much later, and I thought this would grade really well. Apparently there's a small crease on it somewhere, but I still love it. One of my favorite cards. In addition to Dodgers, I collected Pete Rose. I was a Pete Rose fanatic. I had lots and lots of Pete Rose cards. Here's one example of one of the cards I got in 1966 Topps. I ended up getting all the Pete Rose cards except for 63, 65, and 67. I still need to get the rookie card because it's got Ken McMullen, who's a Dodger, and will fit into my Dodgers collection. Here's another 69 Pete Rose. Again, all these cards I acquired in either elementary, junior high, or beginning of high school. I kind of stopped collecting around when I was in my, I guess, junior and senior year of high school. Like, we just got into other things. And then took a little hiatus and dabbled again in my 20s. I also collected Steve Carlton when I was a kid. Here's his rookie card, which I was able to get. Nice example, soft corners. That's why it's a 4. Here's another Steve Carlton. I would also trade cards a lot with my friend Mark, and this is a card I think I might have gotten in a trade with him. I know we traded a lot of, he was working on 1960 Topps, and I was working on 1958 Topps, which I'll talk about later, but I think this Hank Aaron ended up in a trade somewhere. Here's a couple other ones, just random Hall of Famers that I got. Fergie Jenkins, which I love this. It's a very sharp card, even though it's a little off center. And here's an incredibly sharp Bob Gibson. These corners are scorching sharp. It's off center and a little bit of a miscut on the back, tiny, tiny bit you could see down here, but I still love it. But of course, I wanted to acquire Dodgers. They were my team, and I did end up getting one Sandy Koufax when I was a kid. And here it is, really nice 1963 tops. I got this Duke Snider here, which I got graded early on in Beckett grading. I submitted like 5 cards, and this is one of them. Back when they had subgrades, you can see the subgrades, but yeah. We went to a local card shop. We went to Valley Baseball Cards, and there was another baseball card shop I went to that had these 51 Topps packs. So we actually pulled, my brother and I think my brother got the Monty Irvin and I got the Dom DiMaggio in one. I got a couple others of these, but we pulled these from packs, from 1951 Topps packs in the 1980s. And here's the wrapper. I got one more wrapper and like 3 more cards or something like that. I think we lost a couple of them somewhere. And then I got really into 1958 Topps. Why? I'm not really sure how exactly that started, but I know I really like the colors, the first year, the All-Stars, etc. And this is one of the biggest cards that I ever bought. I spent I think $100 on this, which was a ton of money for me. And I got this graded recently. This card has a little bit soft corners, but the centering is like perfect. Really nice, and even the back centering is amazing on this one. So yeah, that's a great one. So anyway, I got a lot of 1958 Topps cards when I was in, I think, junior high as I started and through high school. Here's Johnny Padres, Robin Roberts. I sent these all in recently, as you can see, it's the CSG. Eddie Matthews. I thought this one would do a little better, but I don't really care. I'm not getting rid of any of these cards. Here's a perfectly centered Warren Spahn. Nice back centering too. Willie Mays. Of course, this one's a little lower. Very soft corners, but Yogi Berra. Whitey Ford. And I got others. But as I mentioned, I stopped collecting for a while in high school and college, and then I kind of dabbled through my 20s. I got this Pee Wee Reese card, for example, in my 20s. I got this Hank Greenberg card. Also interested in Hank Greenberg being Jewish. I wanted to get some good examples of the greatest Jewish slugger. So I got this Hank Greenberg. I also got a few sets of 1978 Topps, 1981 Topps, a bunch of other stuff in my 20s. So those are my cards. In my 30s, I kind of stopped collecting for about maybe 15, 17 years. Had kids. They had other interests. We did rip up with some packs. There was about a year or two where they were buying packs and I was doing that with them, but didn't really buy many cards. And then, with the pandemic, like so many of us, so many people, I, reconnected with my cards and started getting really into it. I decided to complete my 1958 set, which I accomplished. And now I'm on the hunt for Dodger cards and trying to get as many different Dodger cards as I can. Right now I'm focusing on trying to complete the 1979 through 1955 sets, team sets, but I'm also dabbling in other stuff. I got a bunch of pre-war Dodger cards. I have about 15 Zach Wheat cards, who's the all-time Dodger leader in many categories. And yeah, just trying to get an assortment of different Dodger cards, but mostly focused on completing those team sets. Anyway, that's who I am and how I came to be collecting Dodger cards and vintage baseball cards. And thanks again for the welcome to YouTube, and thanks for watching.